My mom said it so casually that at first I thought I had misheard her. Like it was just another random comment she made while chopping vegetables in the kitchen. But when she repeated it, slower this time, I felt something heavy settle in my chest because she was serious. She said my sister would be moving into my apartment for a few months and that I should adjust because family helps family. The problem was she didn't ask me. She didn't explain. She just assumed I would agree. And that assumption hurt more than the request itself because it reminded me of how my entire life had always been shaped around my younger sister's needs while mine were treated like optional extras. I stood there gripping my coffee mug trying to stay calm as memories rushed back. Memories of giving up my room when we were kids because she needed more space. Memories of skipping college trips because my savings were used to help her. Memories of being told to be patient, be mature, be understanding, because I was the older one. Now I was 26, living alone in a small apartment I worked painfully hard to afford, and this was the first space in my life that truly felt like mine, my sanctuary after years of emotional compromise. When I told my mom I wasn't comfortable with the idea, her smile faded instantly and she looked at me like I had just said something cruel. She asked me why I was being selfish, why I couldn't just help my sister who was going through a rough time after quitting her job. And that's when I realized this conversation was never about me. It never had been. I tried explaining that my apartment was small, that I worked from home, that I needed quiet and structure, but she brushed it off saying I was exaggerating and that my sister would adjust. The irony was painful because I was always the one expected to adjust. Later that night my sister called me, not to ask but to tell me she'd start packing soon. Her tone was excited, almost relieved, as if the decision had already been finalized without my consent. Something inside me snapped, not in anger, but in clarity. I realized that if I didn't draw a boundary now, I never would, so I calmly told her I loved her but she couldn't move in. There was silence on the other end, followed by disbelief, then guilt-tripping, then tears, and finally anger. She accused me of abandoning her, of changing, of thinking I was better than everyone else just because I lived alone. I listened quietly because part of me understood her pain, but another part of me finally understood my own. The next few days were tense. My mom stopped calling. Relatives started sending messages saying I should reconsider, that I was breaking the family bond, but none of them offered their own homes. None of them asked how I felt. For the first time I didn't rush to explain myself. I didn't overjustify or apologize. I simply said no, and it was terrifying and empowering at the same time. One evening my mom finally came over unannounced. She looked tired, not angry this time, just confused. She asked me when I had become so distant, and I told her the truth, that I wasn't distant, I was just tired of being invisible. I told her how every major decision in my life had been influenced by what was best for my sister, how I felt like a backup plan instead of a daughter. She cried, not loudly, but quietly, the kind of crying that comes with realization. She admitted she hadn't noticed how much pressure she had placed on me, that she assumed I was strong enough to handle it, and that assumption had blinded her. Things didn't magically fix themselves after that conversation. My sister didn't talk to me for weeks. Family gatherings felt